What made you move, plan to move, and what were the various steps involved to make sure everything went smoothly? So what customizations, how did you explain to your builder?
Our biggest factor for moving was we always kind of knew we were going to come to Florida. It was just timing wise. He had a lot of the same medical issues as Grayson, like with the mold sensitivities and diet restrictions and just so many other things going on.
Welcome to the BioNexus Health podcast with Dr. Jodie A. Darshaw, who holds a PhD in integrative medicine, is board certified in integrative pediatrics, an internationally recognized pioneering clinician, and author. And now here's your host of BioNexus Health podcast, Dr. Jodie A. Darshaw.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the BioNexus Health podcast. Today, we will be revisiting with Cynthia. Cynthia is the mom of a child on the spectrum who was actually misdiagnosed as being on the spectrum. We found numerous underlying medical issues, and this little boy is doing really well. But, we'll let Cynthia give you an update. Hi, Cynthia. How you doing?
Good, Dr. Darshaw. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. What made you plan to move, and what were the various steps involved to make sure everything went smoothly?
Okay, well, our biggest factor for moving was we always kind of knew we were going to come to Florida. It was just timing wise, but the cards fell perfectly, and my husband wound up getting a transfer. But our biggest push was Grayson. Our house, as I don't know if you remember, we had a very strenuous mold situation. We've spent a lot of money trying to figure out where our mold issue was coming from, remediated our entire house, and still our numbers weren't coming back where we wanted them to be. And of course, living in New Jersey, the houses are older. Our house, I believe, was built in the 50s, early 50s.
I see.
And there was a lot of renovation done to it. When we moved in, it was pretty much fully renovated. Kitchen, floors, roof, AC unit, everything, but we still had a problem. So we kind of had it. We were like, you know what are we going to do? It's the height of the market where you sold high, but you also bought high. So we're like, where do we go? Let's try to move to Florida. Let's make that move happen sooner. We could get a new construction. We can work with the builders. We can literally plan everything as perfectly as we can for Grayson's health as well, as well with my husband as well. He had a lot of the same medical issues as Grayson, like with the mold sensitivities and diet restrictions and just so many other things going on.
So what customizations, how did you explain to your builder?
Okay, well, I wish my husband was here so he can tell you, because he really took the reins on that one. But he did his research, found the developer, and we took the time. We took about 4 or 5 days, traveled to Florida, and we met with them. We saw their process. They explained everything to us, even down to elevation, because, with water, moisture, elevation is a big factor. And it met our criteria for everything. One thing, I wish Alex was here because he really knows he took the reins on that one. I kind of just let him have it. I was more so of the interior and what do we do with the vents, the walls, the gardening aspects and, things like that. But yeah, if he was here, he would do a better job of explaining it. He knows the exact terms of what was the substance or the chemical, if you will, that they use for the 2x4s to build it. It was I believe it's a cinder block foundation, and then they sealed that, and then we have this is a stucco or concrete, one or the other, that surrounds it before they painted it and did everything else.
Were they responsive when you contacted them? I mean, it must have been more than any routine new buyer, right? So when you called and requested updates, right, were they responsive, respectful for that?
Oh yeah, they were really spot on with timing. If they didn't get back to me that day, they got back to me the next morning. They were really, really very good. I couldn't have enough good things to say about them. Even when we closed on our property and we had a few things here and there, they were still very much on it. You know, questions to like the AC unit, because we got an air scrubber to it too. So we had to ask questions about things like that, and like piping for some of the bathrooms, because there was plastic and we didn't ask for plastic. And they were on it. They were very good.
You know, with the one spouse having tick-borne infections, it was most probably a misdiagnosis for Grayson, you know, because there would have been in utero transmission. In addition, being born into a house with mycotoxins, so it just compounds the issue, you know. So that's pretty much what I'm thinking for Grayson. As you already know, we are both on the same page that it's you know, looks like a misdiagnosis as he keeps making improvements.
Yeah. Oh, I know we're not here to talk about him, but one thing I do want to say. Of
course. No, that's so important.
He's actually finally communicating. Like it's not 100% vocally, it is still through his iPad, but I remember we scratched our heads so often. It's like, why isn't he, you know, communicating? Like, I know he understands it, but he can't show us. And he is, like, he's saying, I love you, what he wants. He's saying to share with his sister. Literally, I swear, it's like from one day he wasn't doing it, next day we're like, oh my God, we can't get enough of it. He does understand. I told you he's doing really good. He's doing good right now. Hyper, but he's really good.
Well, this was, I'm sure it's going to be very helpful. You know, we are renovating a little one-bedroom little place for Brian near his school, and you know, so that his commute to school is less, and because med school is just, oh my gosh, you know, I'm sure you're in the field, right? Yeah. The first few years are just so incredibly stressful.
Oh yeah.
The first couple of years especially. So yeah, so they are right in it right now. He's in the 4th year in a 7-year accelerated program, and this is we said, you know, we should do something for him, bring him closer to school. So we are renovating a place, a small little apartment, you know, little bachelor pad for him. And I'm going to share that story. Oh my gosh, what a journey. You know, we had it belonged to a 85-year-old feisty lady, and she I think she fell or something, and she went to live with her daughter, so that's why she sold it. And you know, when she heard who it was going to, she was very sweet. You know, we got a good deal and all of that. And then we found a contractor who helped another patient of mine on Long Island renovate their home. I forget if it was a home, townhome, whatever, you know, but so the contractor was known to someone, because, you know, otherwise it's New York City. I mean, you know, you can get ripped off like so easily. So I'll be taking videos and photos and speaking about it once the project is done. Like before, in the middle of a complete gut reno. You know,
oh man, yeah.
We actually found a slow leak behind the kitchen cabinets, but you know, leaks below the AC. Exactly.
Wow. Yeah. It's funny you say that too, because now that it's been almost a year that we've been in our house, we're looking to clean our vents again. We're looking to get the HVAC people to come out there, make sure everything's working properly, because, you know, we don't know. We hear the buzzing, but we want it to be working more efficiently. We're going to run our mold test just to make sure our numbers are really low where they were at before. We still deep clean our house every single month to the point where it's like the kids know now, you know, trying to get Grayson more involved now, but he's like, no, I just want to play. But yeah, we still deep clean our house. We still, you know, wash our clothes in the same solution you gave us, everything. this might be more me thinking a little too much into it, but I also want to get a new washer machine just because I'm like, maybe we should get a new one. We wash all the Jersey stuff in it. Maybe we should, but that's just me being, my husband thinks I'm like so silly for thinking. He's like, it works, it's fine, don't worry about it. We made sure it was a top loader too. That was a big one.
Yes. You know, even when I order from Fresh Direct or whatever, you know, from any kind of delivery, everything is by the front door. You know, the front door, I have an indoor-outdoor rug that's there, you know, so it can be easily mopped up. It can be mopped. I don't have to put the rug in the, you know, in the washing machine. We don't have any other rugs in the house. So that's there. And anyone brings any kind of deliveries from their grocery truck, you know, it stays there. The groceries are brought in, and then everything is wiped down. Same thing with luggage, just like you mentioned. You know, we just yes, all vacation luggage comes right on that, right by the front door. I usually keep my storm door open. The front door is open. Storm door has a screen. So you have the breeze coming in, and then we open the patio door, so there's cross ventilation, and then you know I just give my luggage a good scrub down all around, and all the clothes go straight into the washing machine with the borax and what have you. The shoes get sanitized at the bottom. You know, I use like 7th generation to just spray. I've got a boot tray, and I just let them sit there, and it's fine. And then on top of the shoes, I spray the EOS. It doesn't damage anything, and it just it works well. So it's a process, and you know, you can do everything. You can travel, you can, but there's just precautions. That's all. I'm planning on building not a 2-car but a 3-car garage. The house is going to be tiny, but the garage is going to be, you know, twice the size of the house, I think.
I wish we would have spoken about that sooner, because I was telling us that we need an extra outdoor space.
So that's what I'm planning on doing. So anything extraneous, you know, like paper goods and what have you. So I'll be chronicling the whole thing as well, how it comes about. I'm you know, once this Long Island project is over for my son, then I can take a breather. I've got a couple conferences I need to speak at. Once that is done, then I'm proceeding with my land purchase, and then, you know, moving on from there and getting things started. I've got 4 years, well, 3.5 now, to finish my build.
Okay.
So that's plenty of time, you know, little by little. It's going to be a mud house. So the garage doesn't have to be a mud garage, you know, it's only the living quarters. The garage will be standard, you know, stainless steel or whatever. I don't know if they build stainless steel, what do I know? But you know, metal.
Oh, I know.
Garage can be, right? Yeah. But no, irrigation gutters, those are really important to make sure that the size of the gutters and the downspouts matches the size of the house, you know, because many times builders will, like, you know, scrimp on those things. Like, you know, they'll have like a small minimum size gutters and downspouts, whereas you actually need a medium, considering it's Florida and it's a big house. So things like that. So I'm glad you did. I'm also planning on a barn. So it's going to be like, you know, a lot of acreage. So we are going to need a barn for the animals.
That's going to be beautiful. I wish, Alex, it's a little too extreme for Alex. I told him, I was like, I wish I could find many acres, build my house, and then have my own farm that lived off the grid. I would love that, but he's too much of a city guy.
Well, you must come visit then. You must bring your family, your mom, and come visit, because no, it's not going to be off grid. I'm still going to be helping people. I'm still going to have, you know, satellite connection and whatnot. But more or less it'll be a homestead, you know, as much self-sustainable as I can make it. But yeah, so that's the plan, to air everything out in my giant barn before it comes inside. And it's going to be very minimalist. I'm not planning on anything fancy.
Yeah, that's
Everything
the way.
we'll donate.
I was very happy you gave me that advice and that guidance, because I remember I asked for a 15-minute appointment. I feel like I was being a little crazy, but I really wanted to make sure I was doing everything and anything I could for my son and my husband, which he's almost perfectly fine now. It's just still working on Grayson, but I would be kicking myself if I didn't. So as annoying as it might be to constantly be on like the builders and the developers and things like that, and worrying about furniture and what you're going to do with it, and worrying about which company you're going to call to service whatever it is, it's worth it. At the end, we're finally like becoming stable, and it's all worth it. It's all worth it, especially to see the improvements that we see in our son. It's all worth it.
Absolutely. Yes, it is. And you should not hesitate to keep contacting your builder, your contractor, send messages, go there, visit, text them, ask for photos and videos. I mean, you can ask nicely, but you have to make them understand right at the start, like what's at stake, because most people don't get it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't get it. A lot.
Right. So good. I think, you guys did an amazing job with the whole move. And yes, like you said, you're still young. You worked hard for about a year and a half to get everything done, but it's done now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It was now thinking back, it's like, how do we do that? How do we have the time? How did we sleep? What did we do? But it is. It's all worth it. You just have to do it. You just can't even think about the work. You just have to do it, and that's it.
One step at a time. Keep going.
Exactly. Yeah, we are. And we're doing a lot of outdoor things, which is another plus to moving to Florida. Like in Jersey, we were stuck in the house throughout the winter. And over here, like Grayson, he learned how to swim. He loves the ocean. We try to go to the beach as much as we can so he could, ground and like be in the fresh air and everything. And he's loved it. Like even his skin color, I didn't know he can get so tan. Like I know I am tan, but people that don't know my husband, he's Polish and Irish, and Grayson takes after him, and he has a lot of color. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know. I had no idea you could tan this well. And he is just he is flourishing in everything over here. So if take the build and everything aside, just moving down here for the weather and the vitamin D and outside, he's doing amazing out here. And all the grass-fed food. We have so many farms out here that offer grass-fed and grass-finished, and Grayson he's eating too much at this point. Like he can't get enough of it, which you can't tell because he's very fit. But I wouldn't have had it any other way. Wonderful.
Well, thank you for sharing your story with us again. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. Anything that I can do to help, I will.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was Cynthia for us. Wasn't that such a wonderful, heartwarming, inspiring story to hear, wasn't it? Yeah, she's such a wonderful mother, and such a beautiful human being overall. So I'm sure we will have her back, once Grayson is making additional progress that she can share. I mean, Cynthia shared a little bit of Grayson's progress with us today as well. All right, so that brings us to the end of today's podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to subscribe, don't forget. And I will see you right back here on another episode of Autism Uprooted BioNexus Health Podcast. Be well. Namaste.
Thank you for joining Master Herbalist Dr. Jodi A. Dashaw, Director of the BioNexus Health Clinic and BioNexus Herbals, on the BioNexus Health Podcast, where we explore and share information and stories about recovering and healing from chronic and environmental illnesses such as mold biotoxin illness, Lyme disease, autism spectrum disorder, fatigue, Crohn's and colitis, mast cell activation syndrome, PANS, and more. Please help us grow our message by subscribing to our podcast channel and sharing the podcast on your social networks. For more information, visit BioNexusHealth.com.
Information within this video, audio, or text, collectively known as the podcast, has not been reviewed by the FDA. Nothing within the podcast is intended as or should be construed as medical advice. Information is for general informational and educational purposes only. Consumers of the podcast should consult with their healthcare practitioners for medical recommendations. Seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider. Do not disregard the advice of a healthcare provider based on any information from the podcast. The information within the podcast may contain information concerning dietary supplements or over-the-counter products that are not drugs. Our dietary supplement products are not intended for use as a means to cure, treat, prevent, diagnose, or mitigate any disease or other medical or abnormal condition.